Harald Hardrada, a name that echoes through the annals of Viking history, was a figure of extraordinary ambition and ferocity, a warrior whose life was a tapestry woven from the threads of adventure, conquest, and the relentless pursuit of glory. Born in 1015 in Norway, Harald was the son of Sigurd, a nobleman, and grew up amidst the tumultuous backdrop of Viking raids and the fierce struggle for power in Scandinavia. From an early age, he was steeped in the warrior culture that defined his people, learning the arts of combat and leadership, and dreaming of a life that would etch his name into the chronicles of history. Harald's journey began in earnest when he was just 15 years old. After the death of his half-brother, King Olaf II of Norway, Harald found himself on the run, fleeing from the wrath of King Canute of Denmark, who had seized control of Norway. This period of exile took him across the seas to the courts of the Byzantine Empire, where he served as a mercenary in the famed Varangian Guard. Here he honed his skills as a warrior, fighting in the service of the Byzantine Emperor, and earning a reputation for his bravery and tactical acumen. His experiences in the East were transformative. He learned not only the art of war, but also the intricacies of diplomacy and governance. It was during this time that he adopted the name Hardrada, meaning hard ruler, a title that would come to define his reign. After years of service abroad, Harald returned to Norway in 1045, determined to reclaim his birthright. With the support of powerful allies and a band of loyal warriors, he marched on Norway, eventually seizing the throne from Magnus the Good, the son of Canute. Harald's ascension to power was marked by a series of brutal campaigns to consolidate his rule. He faced opposition from local chieftains and rival factions, but through a combination of military prowess and political cunning, he emerged victorious, unifying Norway under his banner. His reign was characterized by a fierce commitment to expanding his territory and influence, and he sought to restore Norway's former glory as a dominant power in the north. As Harald strengthened his grip on Norway, he began to cast his eyes toward England, a land rich with opportunity and ripe for conquest. The English throne was in turmoil, with various claimants vying for power, and Harald saw this as an opportunity to assert his own claim. His ambition was fueled by the belief that he was the rightful heir to the English throne, a claim rooted in his distant kinship to King Edmund Ironside, who had once ruled England before being defeated by Canute. This belief, coupled with his desire for wealth and glory, ignited a fire in Harald that would lead him down a path of conflict. In 1066, the stage was set for Harald's most ambitious endeavor. He gathered a formidable fleet of ships and warriors, intent on launching an invasion of England. His forces were bolstered by a diverse array of fighters, including Norwegians, Swedes, and even mercenaries from various lands, all drawn by the promise of plunder and the thrill of battle. Harald's reputation as a fierce warrior and a cunning leader attracted many to his cause, and soon he had assembled an army that was both formidable and eager for conquest. The first significant encounter in Harald's campaign came at the mouth of the river Humber, where he landed on English soil. His forces quickly captured the city of York, a strategic stronghold in the north. The city fell to his relentless assault, and with it came the spoils of victory, wealth, earth resources, and the submission of local lords. However, victory was short-lived, as news of Harald's invasion reached the ears of King Harald Godwinson, the reigning monarch of England, who had just secured his own throne after defeating another claimant, Harald Hardrada's rival, Tostig Godwinson. Harald Godwinson, a man renowned for his military prowess, understood the gravity of the situation. He quickly mobilized his forces, gathering an army of well-trained soldiers, many of whom had just returned from a grueling campaign against the Norwegians at Stamford Bridge. The two armies would soon clash in what would become one of the pivotal moments in English history. The battle at Stamford Bridge on September 25, 1066, would be a fierce confrontation, marked by the valor and determination of both sides. Harald Hardrada, confident in his forces and their recent victories, prepared for battle with the ferocity of a seasoned warrior. He positioned his men strategically, utilizing the terrain to his advantage, while also bolstering their spirits with tales of past glories and the promise of riches that awaited them should they prevail. The morning of the battle dawned with a heavy mist, shrouding the field in an eerie silence that belied the violence about to erupt. As the two armies faced each other, the tension was palpable. The clash of steel rang out as the two forces collided, and the battlefield became a chaotic maelstrom of blood and bravery. Harald fought valiantly, his battle axe swinging with deadly precision, cutting down foes as he sought to rally his men amidst the chaos. Despite his fierce efforts, the tide of battle began to turn against him. The English forces, fueled by their desire to protect their homeland, fought with a fervor that even the most seasoned Viking warrior would find daunting. King Harald Godwinson, leading from the front, inspired his troops with his bravery, and the English began to push back against the Norwegians. The relentless advance of the English forces, combined with the fatigue of Harald's men who had traveled far and fought fiercely, began to take its toll. In the midst of the fray, Harald's fate was sealed. A well-aimed arrow struck him, piercing through his armor and bringing him down to the ground. As he lay there, surrounded by the sounds of battle and the cries of his warriors, he realized that his dreams of conquest and glory were slipping away. The battle raged on, but for Harald the world grew dimmer. His warriors fought valiantly, but the loss of their leader was a devastating blow. One by one they fell, and soon the battlefield was littered with the bodies of the brave, both Norwegian and English. Stamford Bridge marked the end of Harald Hardrada's aspirations for the English throne, and a significant turning point in English history. The battle signaled the decline of Viking influence in England and the rise of a new era under the rule of the Godwinson dynasty. Harald's death was not just the loss of a warrior, it was the end of an age, a moment when the tides of history shifted irrevocably. In the aftermath of the battle, the legacy of Harald Hardrada continued to resonate. His life was a testament to the Viking spirit of adventure and conquest, a reminder of the fierce warriors who once roamed the seas, seeking glory and wealth. Though he fell at Stamford Bridge, his story lived on, inspiring generations to come. The tales of his exploits, his ambition, and his undying pursuit of power became woven into the fabric of medieval history, a narrative that would be recounted in sagas and songs for centuries. Harald Hardrada's life encapsulated the essence of the Viking Age, a time marked by exploration, conquest, and the relentless quest for glory. His journey from a young warrior in Norway to a king with grand ambitions serves as a reminder of the complexities of power and the fleeting nature of life. As the world moved forward, the echoes of his battles and the lessons learned from his rise and fall would continue to shape the destinies of nations and the hearts of those who dared to dream of glory.